I'll play the cut again because, and I know we just played it, but I'm going to play it again just because he hasn't. Kevin Durant, we haven't heard from him since the end of the season publicly. Devin Booker, we haven't heard from him since the end of the season. I mean, that's the way it's set up in the NBA. You don't really have to hear from these guys unless they have a podcast or they go on their friend's podcast or if they say something on Instagram or whatever. But Kevin Durant, Devin Booker are now at Team USA practices, and I tell you that team. By the way, we're going to get into that in a little bit. 12-man roster. Steve Kerr's reaction was, "These are all going to be Hall of Famers." And I'm looking at the roster, being like, "Steve, you're crazy." They might all be Hall of Famers, honestly.
They're not. Well, I mean, Halliburton, maybe.
Maybe it's early.
That's probably the one where you can say, it's questionable.
Yeah.
But the rest of that roster, is legendary.
It is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But so Katie and Booker both spoke over the weekend. Katie was obviously asked about the trade rumors. This is what he had to say.
It's hard not to hear what they got to say about you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because especially then you could just make up lies. Like, everybody gonna believe you. Like, you could just press the Katie want to leave button anytime you want some attention.
You think it's a button?
Yes. It's for sure a button. What else is gonna get people going around this time? Besides, the journeyman is leaving again. That storyline gonna always hit. The people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they see the alerts on ESPN on your phone. Oh, KD's thinking about leaving. That's how big that story is, which is whack. Because I'm talking to Phoenix every day, since the season ended. Like, our GMs, coaches, everybody, we've been locked in. So it's like to hear somebody say, well, Phoenix wants to get out of the KD sweeps. I'm like sitting there like, where is this coming from?
Max, there's a lot to that cut.
There's so much.
But now that I've heard it a few times, my favorite part is in the middle where he's like, yes, it's for sure a button.
Yeah, exactly.
It's clearly a button.
Clearly a button, and somebody is pressing it.
This is more from Katie, courtesy of Yahoo Sports. He was asked if these trade rumors these trade rumors have been following him around for, 12 years, 13 years?
Every time he doesn't have the season that he wanted and doesn't end in a championship pretty much.
Yeah, anytime he doesn't win a title, there's multiple people nationally saying he's going to get traded or he wants to get traded or whatever. So he was asked if that bothers him.
It bothers me that people lie like that, and it bothers me that the audience eats up lies. Not necessarily the headline, because I know it's false and I know the relationships, but I get sad when people buy into lies or just make up. It's deep. It's bigger than ball at that point for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I can't control that. I feel for people. I don't want you to even because that's a bad practice to have when you just believe anything, for one. When you just believe whatever you see on TV. And then there's another bad habit when you just lying. You know what I'm saying?
He's not wrong.
I mean, I'm going to put this out here. I need somebody to do like the Mark Morrison picture and put Katie's head on it. And I feel like that would be a perfect tagline of him sitting there. Mark Morris had the legs crossed. He had like the gold chain on and the bracelet and everything. You just put Katie's face on it. So anytime you hear this, like the want to trade button, that is your counter argument, is to put the return of the Mac. You lied to me.
You want the Katie want to leave button? You want to hit it? You haven't hit it in a while.
Because I don't want to hit it because, I A, don't want him to leave, and B, like I said, I feel that pain and that just annoyance of it always being something.
I think that anybody can relate to that, whether you're a professional athlete or what. It's just like if somebody is saying something about you that isn't true, that's irritating. Okay,
it is.
If other people are believing it, though, then it's like, okay, hold on. Like, have I not built up enough of a reputation?
It's like, so where's my equity in this?
Yeah,
I've told you I'm not leaving, so stop believing it. But yet people are like, oh, okay, oh well, I'm leaving. Like the lemmings, right?
You wanted out Oklahoma City 9 years ago, so you've been like, no, it's not always the same.
Max, when you were with the Steelers, was there a rumor that followed, I don't know, Antonio Brown around constantly? Was there another player that almost had this happen to him?
As I look at it, I mean, AB was probably the most prominent. It was right after I left because, remember, he had just gotten his contract extension, and they gave it to him early because Mike Wallace was holding out. So then there was just kind of always this brimming thing around the Le'Veon time, the Killer B era, that it was like, oh, he's going to leave. Oh, he's got to go somewhere else. Why is he's unhappy? He doesn't have enough balls. I'm like, he's leading the league in catches and yards. I'm like, why would he be upset about that?
Yeah.
And I think Le'Veon, of course, his rumors about not wanting to be franchised again and wanting a contract extension. He's going to go. And he held out that whole year. So I think it's been those micro things. But I think during the time that I played, we didn't really have that prominent player that was going to go, because Plaxico was only there for 1 year and he left for the Giants. But Hines Ward stayed there his entire career. James Ferrier, another one, stayed his entire career. Casey Hampton, Troy Polamalu, right? You think of all the guys, most guys usually stayed, and there was never even a doubt about it, even for Ben. Like, there was never a doubt, oh, Ben's going to go somewhere else, and play out his career. But we didn't usually get that. So I was happy we were safe from that, because that usually ends up being half of the conversations in the media, which I've seen with a lot of other teams like the Giants.
Yeah, I feel like the Steelers, probably better than most teams, do a pretty good job of shutting that down, whether it's Tomlin or just the fact that there's so much consistency there.
And the sports writers also know, don't touch this or else I'll be kicked out of the media pool, you know?
So what were the killer bees were Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown,
and
Ben Roethlisberger. Did you ever feel left out and want to change your name to like Max Starks?
No, never. Because it was also the same era. The reason why they came with that name was because of those horrible uniforms we wore with the horizontal stripes.
Yeah,
that I think I've talked about a number of times. Like most of the offensive line had to get cut out of that outfit because the problem is you can't have an elastic uniform and then put two stitched fixed stripe, like square, like rectangles on both sides.
Yeah,
where you can't. It loses the elasticity because they're stitched through the fabric. So we had guys, I mean, it'd be like 2-3 guys try to pull those uniforms off. So I'm happy I was not associated with that era directly like that.
Why did they do that? Like the Steelers have a pretty iconic uniform. And then to just
this was in the era when they weren't iconic. This is when they were trying to create it. So like, here, let's just try a new style this time. And I love our 75th anniversary uniform is probably my favorite because it was the black jerseys with the gold numbers and they were block style.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Now, I didn't agree with the white pants with the little black and yellow stripe on the side, but the jersey, if you had paired it with the same gold on the pants with the black stripes or did black pants with those, which almost looks like the Color Rush jerseys now.
Yeah.
That similar styling, that would have been really cool. Now, I love their Color Rush, but yeah, that was probably my favorite throwback uniform. That Killer Bee one, that can go in trash, and I hope it never comes out again.
I'm pulling that up during the break for sure. We're checking that out. Real quick, here's Devin Booker on the back and forth of the trade rumors this offseason. They didn't hit him as hard, but, he usually
still got it.
Yeah, there's typically a couple sports writers that want him on their team, so they're like, he must hate Phoenix. By the way, he's spent his entire career here so far. Here's Devin Booker with our own Kellen Olson.
You're no stranger to trade rumors. They do not avoid you. They avoid you for a couple of years, but your name's back out there. You know how to deal with that, right?
They say my name. I ain't heard much this summer,
your name's been around. Good job by your people not having your name in front of you. But it's been around. Teams are interested in seeing how the next couple of years go for you. Apparently, to kind of the vultures are circling. Is the way you would put it. You're used to this, though, right?
Yeah, man. That's the nature of our game, nature of the business. Gives people something to talk about.
He shuts it down a lot more easily because Devin Booker has a huge profile, but his profile nationally still isn't what KD's is.
Well, he's not a journeyman. He's never left at all.
I never thought of KD as a journeyman until KD said journeyman in that cut. Really.
And then you start counting the teams, and you're like, oh yeah, he's been to 5 teams.
But that's LeBron though too, right?
Yeah, same thing. LeBron should be considered a journeyman as well. And yes, he won 3 championships with 3 of those teams.
So KD was Oklahoma City, Golden State, Brooklyn, and Phoenix. Brooklyn doesn't even feel like it really happened, but it did.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He's 4 teams, yeah.
And LeBron is what? Cleveland, Miami,
back to Cleveland, and then LA. So 4 teams. So they have the same amount of departures, and LeBron a little bit more because he went back to the same team. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't really add to it, but it was still different eras. Like he didn't win a championship the first time in Cleveland. Second stint after winning a champion in Miami, he then won a championship in Cleveland and then decided to leave again. And he has a bubble championship. I'm going to keep calling it a bubble championship.
You keep doing that.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.